Yeah, dog. Thomas G here once again with another cryptocurrency video for you guys. Welcome to the channel. Don't forget to smash that like button, drop a comment, and always remember, I am not a financial advisor, for damn sure not a professional. This is cryptocurrency. Gotta do your own research. Definitely don't ever allow a social media influencer on any social media platform out there to influence you when it comes to cryptocurrency. All right? Go out there and piece together your own info. Make your own decisions. Hopefully they're wise. So the video. Has Richard Heart let down all of Pulsechain and all the investors? All of Pulsechain, the investors, the whole community, everybody. Do you feel let down? Let me just name some things that have been going on, give you a piece of my mind, and you can make your own decision. I'm not going to say whether I think he did or not. I'm going to let me piece this together, okay? So you got to remember, before Pulsechain sacrifice happened, Richard Heart was live streaming, talking about this blockchain that was going to come. And his reputation prior to that had been, prior to Hex coming out, was a Bitcoin maxi. Prior to Hex coming out, and then when he came out with Hex, everyone started calling him a scammer. And that's what he was known for, being a scammer, honestly, just because he created a cryptocurrency and he was no longer a Bitcoin maximalist. He didn't even like Ethereum back in the day, if you followed him for a long time. Now, the thing that he transitioned from that scammer. He still was thought of as a scammer, but people who invested in his product, Hex, he got to enjoy the glory days of being like a god. A 10,000x with Hex. It happened. Life-changing money happened for a lot of people. And Hexicans have been super loyal. So you got to remember, he came off from that big victory pitching this blockchain that was going to be better than Ethereum. And everybody was like, dude, this guy's already 10,000x my bag, 1,000x, 100x, 50x. And a lot of people who were in the sidelines that missed it or sold early were like, I'm not going to miss Pulsechain and then miss PulseX. And he was streaming, promoting it, pitching it, getting people excited, was saying no expectations of the work of others. But we were still excited and had expectations that he could potentially do it again. And then he threw out the number 14,000x during the live stream. You can go look. It's out there. All right. So the Pulsechain sacrifice happens. Pulsechain launches in July. Just a few months later, the SEC comes after Richard Heart. And he stopped streaming. He stopped everything. Like, he just stopped branding and talking about things crypto, stopped doing interviews. And it's been rough. It's been a rough 1 year plus. Because what we're seeing, and I'm going to jump into the Tron blockchain, is Justin Sun is interacting with Pump Fund or Sun Pump with his community and the people, as far as investors that are trying to transition onto a blockchain and are transitioning to Tron to buy meme tokens and ultimately end up buying, Sun token and yield farming and using this blockchain, because he knows to onboard users, meme tokens are hot, right? And he's out there doing everything that Richard Heart did during the sacrifice phase, before the sacrifice phase, and then after, it launched, he was doing interviews and everything, and then he stopped. Justin Sun has been doing that for years and is continuing to do that now in X Spaces, streaming like crazy to take advantage of the opportunity during the meme hype as a way to onboard users to invest in meme tokens, who will then discover, Tron, Sun, ultimately bring money to the ecosystem. And I think that's what a true leader does. Now, Justin Sun's not being sued by the SEC like Richard Hart is, and doesn't have the accusations, but I can tell you he's probably got a lot of cases that he has to deal with in court because he's a crypto founder. That comes with the territory. Now, even if you want to go as far as Vitalik, who does, tweets and does different events and talks about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto, he still shows his face. He's still active. He's still doing things. But Richard Hart is acting as if he's somebody who needs to hide and be on the run. But then he's on X tweeting and still being active that way, but not showing his face. Nobody knows where he's at. He doesn't want to be found. So the way I feel that could be disappointing to somebody is he created a blockchain, right? And the purpose of a blockchain is to be used and to onboard new users. He's left it up to the community to onboard new users. And that community, for a long time, attacked all other tokens other than RH tokens. Pulsex, Hex, Maxis, Inc. Maxis, everything was a scam, right? They didn't figure out that ultimately to pump their bags, they needed users to come and people to build. Meme tokens, platforms, DeFi, applications, dApps, you name it. The community as a whole wasn't on board with that for like months. Still not on board with it, really. Everyone's collapsing. Everyone's jumping ship and going elsewhere. And I feel like, or he is given the most disappointment, is he has no effort other than trying to take on the SEC. And the entire ecosystem is like, where bags are going to pump when he brings the sacrifice funds over. So we're at total leverage, right, on Ethereum. So let's say Ethereum does go to $10,000, 15, and he moons everyone's bags. I feel like when Pulsechain finally pumps, it's going to be like the Mt. Gox release of tokens. People waiting so long to get their money back, get their Bitcoin back to sell and move on. And me personally, I am playing the narrative, seeing that he has showed examples in early 2024 that he was going to inject capital from the sacrifice funds. Now that I see he bought all that Ethereum at 3,700, I see, okay, if he 2x, 3x's it, he's going to bring it. But although he could bring the price of Pulsex, Hex, and Inc. 10, 20x from the bottoms, not from sacrifice price, from the bottoms, he can pump them hard to go 10, 15, maybe even 20x. And that won't last for long because everyone's looking to leave. Everyone wants out. They want to make their money when they move on. Nobody is building on Pulsechain. So this may be the one and only cycle. And I say this based off the volume and people building. Now, I did an interview with PTGC. They don't even need human interaction or volume to continue to grow on Pulsechain, right? They really don't. And that was interesting. But at the same time, as the entire ecosystem awaits this injection of the leverage play on Ethereum that Richard Hart's going to inject into the ecosystem, I feel like it's going to pump and dump and then become a ghost town, because everyone is going to want to leave and extract their value and get the hell out. That's how it feels as an investor, and that's the sentiment that's going on out there all over. And the reason why people are still pitching like, hey, like I'm a hex maxi, is like, you are a maxi until you can get out. Everybody knows they want this to pump to get out. They want to make X's. And after it pumps, just like the entire market, everything will dump and go into a bear market. Will they stay to build during the bear? That's the question. It may be dead like it is today. And it won't even have the sacrifice funds no longer to bring it back to life. You see what I'm saying? The sacrifice funds should get us in a bull market to where we want to be if he 2 or 3x's that money and brings it in. But what happens 4 years down the road after the correction? Because people would have left after that pump from the injection, and no one is going to probably build further other than what you see today, and maybe a few others. Because everyone wants to say, green candles come, everyone buys. No. I think everyone sells in this situation because there's no incentive to come to Pulsechain. Our leader is fighting a SEC case and has gone MIA. Doesn't talk live, doesn't show his face. He's literally saying the SEC is trying to sue Code. Okay? Code cannot launch itself. A car cannot launch or start itself. You need to physically turn your car on with your key or press to start it with a button from a keychain or the button in the vehicle. These vehicles do not start themselves out of thin air for no reason. The human launches the Code, the human starts the vehicle. And they are suing him. Of course they can't sue the Code. So he's spending all his energy talking about how he's fighting for my rights. I just want homie to do what Justin Sun's doing and bring adoption so Pulsechain can be great again. And it not only be great again, but survive after the bear market, because people build on it during the next bear market into the next cycle. But it might not even make it there. If all we're waiting for and all we have to look forward to is Ethereum going up, he uses all that ETH that he made money on to inject into the market on Pulsechain, 2, 3x or bags, whatever it may be, and that's it. Like, I don't know what else there is to look forward to. Very confusing times, man. Have we been let down? Has this failed? Because just because it's going green doesn't mean it's going to revive Pulsechain. Do you think Dogechain is going to just go on a parabolic run because the market's in a bull market? No, nothing's happening over there. There's no volume. It's dead. That's what happened to Pulsechain. So it's not going to go parabolic, Dogechain, because it doesn't have a sack daddy. Pulsechain will, because we have a sack daddy, but what about down the road? When sack daddy's out of funds and people have extracted their value from that injection, will there be builders still for the long term? Will there be investors still? Or are we all waiting for a 10x and get out? Me personally, I am banking on the SAC funds, and I want to get the hell out of Dodge with the 10x minimum, because there's nowhere to go. There's like no long-term dedication, and that's not my fault. That's the community as a whole is like falling apart. And regardless of this big green candle that's going to come, that's my exit, right? And I think the developers and everybody's going to go with that green candle and go, whoop, see you later. Unless something changes and he embraces the chain for the long term like Justin Sun is. Like Vitalik. Like every great leader, you got to lead. Homie straight up bounced. Now he's just posting on X. The only thing will save us is if he wins the court case, he embraces the chain, embraces projects, and embraces tokens. Injection happens, and he starts to work from there, so people want to build during the next bear cycle. And then we start having every 4-year cycles like everything else. Other than that, this is turning into Dogechain. And it's sad because I'm a huge fan of Richard Hart, but the way things unfold maybe was out of his hands with this SEC case. And there's nothing you can do about that. All you can do is adjust. So you make up your mind. Did Richard Hart fail us? Is it the SEC's fault? Do we all need to collectively get together and sue the SEC for damages? But we might have to. Because I really think they put the nail in the coffin. Because this could take years to settle. But hopefully it gets settled soon. Till next time, we'll do it again. Yeah, dog.